Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. So I had a setup play and review for the game Wok and Roll, a modern Asian dice game designed by Daryl Chow, published by Game. So this is a roll and write game. The aim of the game is to complete these lovely menus. It's two-sided. I'll tell you about the expert side afterwards. And what we're going to be doing is taking our pens in this game. This is a 1 to 5 player game. It takes about 30 minutes to play. This is going in my roll and write playlist. It's going in the AmassGames playlist, the board game review playlist, amongst many others. If you want to see how far dice roll and whether or not you might need a dice tray, or in this case a wok, then of course please make sure you head over and check out that playlist. Amongst that as well, of course, in that dice tray playlist. So what we're going to do is take your turn, write your name of your restaurant on here. I know, let's just put Yum. I don't know, I've used different ones each time. Aim of the game is to get the highest points. So you're going to roll your dice. Now I'm not showing you the solo rules. You can play this solo, as I mentioned, 1 to 5 players. But imagine I'm playing this multiplayer, and imagine I'm going first. I get to keep these dice. These dice everyone else is going to use, but you can re-roll up to 2 more times. So for some reason, I don't know, I might want to keep this. I'll show you why in a second. And I don't know, let's just say I roll this one. I'm not sure quite what I want to get, but let's just roll it again, which kind of made it worse maybe. So let me move this out of the way. So what we're going to be doing is, like I said, trying to get the most points. The game ends when somebody has completed 3 columns, and then literally everyone has finish that turn. As soon as somebody says, right, I finished a column, you finish that turn. So I've got these various things. I've got a menu here, and I've got these noodles with broccoli. Now, the actual back of the rule book tells you that broccoli with 2 noodles is called a certain dish. I think this is a Singapore kind of recipe. So let's just go to that page. I'll tell you what it is. See if I can find it. Here it is. So with your noodle dish, this happens to be, I think it's house fried special noodles. It might be this one. But like I said, it does show actually on here. So there's 3 things here. There's 4 things over there. So I'm going to cross off this menu. I'll come back to that one last. But in this case, we've got 2 noodles and a broccoli. So you're just going to mark it or put a circle in it, whatever you want to do. I'll get 2 points at the end of the game. That's what that shows down there. Hopefully you can see that it shows you 2 points. And you can get more points as you do furthermore. So next time you get 3 points, next time we get 4. So you get 9 points. So I've used up those dice. Now everybody else will be using just the white dice. I've got this spare piece of rice left over. You have a fridge, so I can cross off this, a one-time use. So 2 rice, and let's say, I don't know, a broccoli. And now I've got this one. I've also got these 2 menus. What this means is you can circle something. Let's say I circle, so I've still got this, I don't know, let's just say I circle noodles. So what this means is immediately I get a free noodle. So I have 1 noodle plus another noodle I can use as well. Let's say use a chicken to get noodle chicken, and I've got this one. Now if you happen to get 2 broccoli, you can mark off this. If you happen to mark off 2 chicken, it gets you 1 of these pieces of rice. And whenever you need to use a rice for some reason, you can just cross this off, and in that case get whatever you need it for. So imagine you've rolled this, you can use that rice, and maybe you had some broccoli, then of course you could be crossing off this one. Now let's come back to why I happen to circle this. Because it's somebody else's roll. And imagine they've kept on re-rolling and they've given up, or they've happened to get these things. Then of course everybody, because of course it's not in the red section, I can again cross something off, and it gives me a prawn, or in this case I get a prawn and maybe there are 2 rice, and I've done that one. However, if there's only one of them, it's a wild responding to one of these things. And it's a wild for whatever you've already crossed off. So it's not a chicken, it's not broccoli, it's not rice, but because I have already done noodles and in this case prawn or shrimp, what it means is I can now use this to be, let's say, a prawn. So I can use this prawn, and let's say use a fridge prawn, and I've done this. Or maybe I had a prawn here, so I could have actually done the 3 instead of the 2. As you can see, these are dry erase boards. If you happen to get 3 of these, because there's 1, there's 2, let's say you've got 3, so I've used up all 3, again you can't use these again. I've done this one, so you've got various bonuses. So for example, you get 2 points for each of these you've got at the end of the game, or the amount of these that you've crossed off. So there's various points you can get as well. So once any of these 3 are completed, that could be one of these, one of these, one of these, or 2 of these, one of these, one of those, whatever it is. So 1, 2, 3, whatever it might be. Then, like I said, you're going to finish that turn, not the round, just the turn, and you see how well you do. There is some first player advantage, in my opinion, of that though. And you're going to tot up your scores. Well, I don't know, maybe you've got like, I don't know, 4 points from here, based on it stands. I've got, in this case, I've currently got 5 points. I've got 4 points here. Do your score, you're getting about 50 or 60 odd points, which you're going to put on here. And then, of course, you're going to pair up and see how well you do. Now, before I show you the other side, these pens aren't great. They do clean off very nicely, but generally speaking, other people have been using other pens. They're not bad, but sometimes they're not the best. They seem to dry out quite quickly. So that is the basic side of it. Let's show you the advanced side of the board, which I think is a lot better. 7 out of 10 based on that, obviously average rating being a 6.4 based on over 2,500 reviews. There's 8 different tiles, randomly draw one. This is the one I actually had last time. So in this case, what you're looking to do, it's the same game, but you don't have a fridge to start off with. You have 2 chef's hats, so basically you can use anything you like, basically twice. So anytime you want to go, oh, I don't know, just cross this off, and I don't know, you happen to roll this, then you've got a broccoli, and maybe you can use your chef's hat and a broccoli to get yourself this one. And then you happen to, even on the same turn, you can use a prawn, and now there is a prawn here. Now, the difference is you've got these lock symbols. So similar to using menus, you're going to need 2 of these to cross off one of these. However, if you've only got one of them, then you're going to have to circle this and lose 2 points at the end of the game, plus an additional 3 points at the end of the game, plus an additional 4 points if you keep doing it. But these lock things really get in the way because you cannot advance past them until this lock thing has been like circled or crossed or whatever. And it's difficult sometimes to predict what is going to come up next because you might be getting through this quite quickly. Now there's 2 more of these extra spaces, and what these represent is if you happen to complete your special, so if I happen to complete my 3 noodles and 2 chicken the first time, I get 3 points. The second time I get a chef's hat, which I didn't manage to do last game, etc. So the third time I get 5 points and a chef's hat, so I get an accused ability, and then the fourth time you get 6 points. So very similar kind of game, but you've now got these lock things to deal with. In addition to that, there's things such as the pantry. So if you happen to reach this one, you get this. It gives you some rice, 1 point, 2, 3, 4, etc. And again, you're going to tot up your scores over here afterwards and find out your best score. It is a better side. It's more of a 7.7 overall once you kind of factor in this side as well. Again, put your restaurant name on here too, get your final score. You can get some specialities. You can unlock special dice if you happen to do this one down here. This basically lets you take any red or white dice once you've rolled and basically turn it any side you want. So we didn't tend to in prior games actually decide that somebody else is, I don't know, they really want chicken, so I make it into broccoli, but it's something you could do. For a 3 player game, I think it doesn't go too slowly, obviously quicker as a 2, very nice and quick as a 2. Obviously slightly more players as an extra couple of dice people need to be being aware of, because on your turn you're always going to be using 4 dice, it's just somebody else is going to be using 2. So it's slightly quicker of course with fewer players. But that's it. Like I said, very impressive game. This did make my game of the month, so make sure you check out my best of the month video, mainly because of the whole wild situation, which happens to be on this side of the board, because it's like make your own wild, and of course then you're getting benefits. You get benefits straight away, and anytime you do it, it's a nice kind of engine build. Very cool effects. I like that the insert kind of works. It's a bit noisy, but it does work. And in this case, you can put your dice away quite easily as well. And as for the theme, obviously tasty. Obviously, it's quite an appealing thing to play if you all happen to be hungry. It does kind of make you hungry a bit. Like I said, it depends. They aren't that bad, to be honest. It's just sometimes I think some of them are slightly better than the others. Artwork didn't really do it for me here on that side, but apart from that, like I said, I have enjoyed it. Like the variety going on too, and I will be doing a video, I believe, coming soon for the expansion 2, which I've heard really does improve things quite significantly. So, or at least an extra kind of bump up, like maybe make it an 8 out of 10. But that's Wok and Roll, another pun-based game. Thanks very much for watching. More videos by Daryl Chow on the channel, such as the Artemis Project. But for now, back to the table.